The spiritual sciences are not against religions. On the contrary, most of spiritual scientists or people who seek to know the truth via the spiritual sciences are people of faith, are people who believe in the religion that they were born into. We need to realize that we're all born into a country, into a family, into a certain religion. Religion is usually not something that we choose. But even if we were to choose it, we would choose it according to our cultural background and according to peer pressure or according to whatever we think would make us more acceptable, lovable, or as a form of rebellion against our circumstances. So religion is valid, of course, for everyone. Our faith is within our heart, whether believe in a higher power and we believe in our religion or not. But religion is also one facet. Each religion is one facet of reality. And it is seen from a level of interpretation. It interprets the mysteries, it interprets the spiritual truth in a way that will be palatable for people, that people will be able to understand. And it also instills a certain fear of God in people, because if people didn't have this harness to keep them, in check, who knows what they would do if they didn't believe, if they had no fear of God. Also, religion does hide most religions do hide very important truths that we as seekers are free to seek in the path of spiritual sciences. But that doesn't negate our religion. We have to understand that spiritual sciences are sciences. They're not just something that priests or great beings taught and wrote about. They are much more than that. They are the natural laws. And for example, and there's a complex system. And this complex system of these religions includes, for example, esoteric astrology, which sounds like, astrology doesn't sound very scientific, right? And yet, esoteric astrology is a science. For example, one of the great Greek scholars, Nikos Litzas, showed us how Greece is divided in 12 segments. And the center of this 12-pointed star, let's put it this way, is Delphi. I'm sorry, Delos is another holy center. Delphi. And through Delphi pass all these lines, and thus 12 segments are created. And each segment relates to a zodiac sign, right? And starting from, anyway, it doesn't matter. So in each segment, because you don't all know Greece, right? So each segment corresponds to a zodiacal sign. As seen from above, it is anti-clockwise. And there's a reason for that, which I cannot explain right now because it's a long lecture then. I want to give you a very short video of a lot of information so that you understand what the spiritual religions are. Sciences are. So in each segment in ancient Greece, they built temples at the exact spot that was under the leading star of each constellation at the time. These have moved after 2,000 years, it has moved, but still the spiritual input is there. So they built these temples at the exact spot. Now, how they knew the exact spot of the leading star is a mystery. But the way I understand it is that the places had energy, and the mystics, the priests of the time, they were the ones who sensed energy, who saw energy, and who were clairvoyant and who meditated and were able to know the exact spots. So these spots were created. And in these spots, the priests of the time, they did rituals blessing the entire area. So the entire area, the town, the city, the area was blessed with prosperity, with well-being, etc. So what the priests did is what contemporary meditators do, which is to harness the energies that came from above and to give them the qualities of love, of peace, of prosperity, of spirituality. Because energy is energy, it doesn't have properties, it doesn't have qualities unless we qualify them, right? So the energy would come down and they would spread it to the land. And it's amazing because we can prove this, that each segment corresponds. For example, in Gemini, it's the so-called tomb of the Pollux and Castor, the Gemini stars. And in Virgo, we have the Virgin Mary Island, Tinos, which is the center of yin in Greece. And we have Athens, Athena, the female goddess, of Virgo, the Virgin, right? So in Pelion, which is another segment, we have the center mountain, and that's where the Sagittarius sign corresponds. Every segment in Nemea, where is the lion of Nemea, the Leo zodiac, we have, coins and temples to the Leo constellation. In every segment, we have the corresponding temples and coins that prove that the zodiac was revered. It was not revered as a god would be revered, but as a property, a quality, an influence. Constellations have holy energies that the stars send holy energies to humans. And, they purify, they bless, they're beautiful. So the labors of Hercules now, mythology, is a spiritual science that shows the path of the aspirant throughout the incarnations, which is one thing that religions hide from us, at least the Christian religion unfortunately does, that we reincarnate. We are the soul. The soul has one life and it downloads the body and we reincarnate again and again. Then we bring back, the soul retracts itself, takes all the information, then brings down another body to experience life and to experience itself and to grow, to evolve. So it downloads another little body, etc. But we are immense, We don't die. We live. The soul is immortal. So, well, in a way, it's immortal. I mean, energy never dies, but the soul also has its cycles and then it becomes something else. So we are a part of God. We are part of God, and God has to be greater or the equivalent of, greater than or the equivalent of the total sum of all the universes, right? Otherwise, what is not God? And we are part of that. All we have to do is to connect and to flow, to be in the flow. And to do that, we need teachers, we need gurus, we need great spiritual teachers like the Christ, right? Or for the Buddhists, the Buddha, in order to be able to connect to the divine. And the main way to connect to the divine is through meditation, to sit still and to try to not think of anything. This is like, you can think of everything all day long, but just at the time of meditation, you just uncross your arms and legs, you sit still, you have a loose spine, you put your shoulders down, your chin in, you breathe from the abdomen. Actually, we must always breathe from the abdomen in order to be healthy and to be peaceful. When you stress, you breathe from the chest and your diaphragm, your solar plexus, it becomes stressed, and that's where all anxiety, depression, fears, and we have to live without fear, right? Because there's so many incarnations to come, and death is just a transition. We don't really die. We just get up and nobody can see us anymore, except those who are in the astral plane. So I'm not going to tell you all the truth now. I'm just talking about the spiritual sciences. And for example, mythology shows the course of the aspirant. The aspirant is the human being who in one of the thousands of incarnations decides that they want to know the truth. They want to know if there is meaning in the universe. They want to know what it's all about. And those people then become seekers, aspirants. They aspire to evolve. They aspire to know. And then they find the teacher that with whom they feel safe, whether it is a priest or it is yoga, but not physical yoga, just a meditation group. But you have to trust, you have to see that they're good people. If they do something you don't like, or you ask them, why are you doing this? And they will give you an answer. For example, when I entered my path of pranic healing, in the beginning, although I was loving it, I loved my teacher who was not anymore in incarnation, but he had these masters of energy, not of me, who were behind teaching his teachings, but I felt so much trust, right? But there were some things that I didn't know. Why are they doing this? What does this mean? And I would ask, because, if you don't ask, you make assumptions, and assumptions, are full of superstitious beliefs. So again, mythology, like the labors of Hercules, this mythology is the course, shows us the soul's mission in each incarnation. As the aspirant suddenly, as the normal human being, not the normal, the younger soul, becomes an aspirant, a seeker, and wants, when the time is right, wants to know more. So this person finds their teacher and then grows in this incarnation. They learn about compassion, about forgiveness, about gratitude. They learn about purification, about meditation. They learn the laws of nature, right? Or the divine laws, not only the human laws. The law of reciprocation, the law of karma. Um, and the golden rule. There are so many laws, you can Google them, natural laws. And, these are above human law. These are absolutes. We can do nothing about the law of karma. Whatever you have inside you, you emit, right? And then it comes back to you many times. Like if you're full of fear, it's like saying to your fears, come, come. Don't. That's why when pranic healers learn that this is so, they stop feeling fear. They just refuse to feel fear because they don't want their fears to manifest. Of course, we have protection, and it doesn't mean that if you're afraid, all your fears will come true, thank God, because otherwise there will be no humanity anymore a long time ago. So this is what the labors of Hercules are. The mythology is a map that shows every person their mission during each incarnation according to their, I'm not telling you which zodiac, but you can read the book of Alice Bailey, The Labors of Hercules, and find out for yourselves. Because, we are not supposed to give all the knowledge to someone and without them wanting it or trying for it. Then, so there are so many spiritual sciences, right? There is also there is esoteric arithmosophy. There is Pythagorean arithmosophy. Arithmosophy is my field of expertise, but also the labors are within my field of expertise. I have studied the labors for many, many, many years, and I believe that I have a good understanding of all the labors and of the meaning of the symbols and the constellations. But arithmosophy is my field, right? So arithmosophy, Pythagoras said that there are 3 levels. So you see, everything is a matter of interpretation. Like astrology can be, oh, what sign are you? Oh, I'm Leo. I like luxury. I like this and that. I'm a leader. So this is the lowest interpretation, right? This is an interpretation that is perhaps accurate for most people, or to some extent. And of course, we are all unique, and to each one of us, this manifests in a totally unique way, is expressed in a totally unique way. But there is, as we said, there is esoteric astrology, which shows what the constellations mean, etc. And then you have her labors, which show what it means to the aspirant. Now, in the same way, you have numbers that Pythagoras brought from Babylon. He brought the numbers to the West, and he and the meaning of the numbers, I believe, from India, he brought. But he evolved all the sciences and discovered so many things on his own that he's one of the greatest teachers of mankind. There is an amazing book called Pythagoras, the Teacher of the Eons by George Seculariou, who was a professor of philosophy in the Greek University of Athens University. So it's an amazing book and it has so much, it's all accurate, which is very rare. Most books, people like to write what they feel is right, but they haven't validated it. So Pythagoras, besides being a great guru who brought to the polytheistic Greece the one God, monotheism, and he brought monotheism to the West. Besides that, he brought also the numbers, the numerals. And the Pythagoreans did write the numbers with dots. They had their own system of writing numbers. But he brought the meaning of the numbers. So numbers had three levels to him. The lowest level was numbers had the function on the physical plane that was about weight, length, width, measures, temperatures, speed, all these things, that whatever they could measure or whatever we can measure today. On a higher level, the middle level, the second level, was where numbers acquire meaning. And each number has its own meaning. And on that middle level, where we have mathematics also that can explain the world, we have arithmosophy, which is or numerology. Arithmosophy is a bit higher even, numerology, which shows us our path. It shows us our map, because according to Pythagoras, there were name makers in the higher planes who named us before we were born, so that by our birth date and the full name at birth, we may compose our map for our lives and know exactly what we're supposed to do in this incarnation, and also know our divine timing, the events, the potencies, the qualities of events of each year. Now, again, the way that we will manifest this, we will express this, depends upon us to a certain great, great extent, because in reality, it's not only our circumstances, it's our soul. We have a soul that has come down here and in this body, right, in our bodies, and our soul has a certain amount of experiences that are and we all are unique. So we are in a unique way going to react and act to circumstances and manifest our map, our destiny, so to speak. So destiny is not really fixed, it's more flexible. It is more something that we can create. We can create our own destiny. And the third level of numbers is on the cosmic level, like number one, the divine spirit entering, number two, mother matter, producing, number three. It's like, all right, so these are the cosmic meanings. It's more than that, right? It's a whole science, esoteric. It's theosophy, and it shows the divine meaning of numbers. And of course, theosophy is the science that examines all about God and all about the divine. There are so many spiritual sciences, but definitely numerology, astrology, arithmosophy, mythology are part of them. And they're not junk, as people, they're not just this nothing, based on nothing, based on folklore. No, they're based. What comes out from each numerologist, astrologer is according to their level of interpretation, right? If you have knowledge, if you have wisdom, what you will teach will be to another level of interpretation and wisdom. So if you want to know your life path, you can always find out. You can always find about your life. And this way, you know, what is the function of self-awareness? First, it expands us, you know. Second, it clears our way, it clears our path. It removes all these false goals that our family, society, our position, our status, our friends, the film industry, the desires created by what we see around us, glamours, have instilled in us, whereas we just want to be a rocket scientist, or we just want to be a poet, or we just want to be working in the public sector, whatever is in our heart's desires, you know, because every human being can create massive good just by thinking positively, saying a prayer for themselves and others, and by being harmless, having harmless thoughts, harmless words, and harmless actions. So the spiritual sciences are in reality validating the existence of God, validating religions, and to a great extent, explaining so many things in religion that seem like folklore, right? Explaining, because religions also are systems that are filled with allegory. And, you know, every miracle has it's a real miracle, but at the same time, it has an allegoric significance. And miracles do happen, I assure you. Miracles should be the norm, but we live in a world of negativity often, right? So if you want to know more about your path, you can check me out. The link will be below at evitamyriam.com. There's always something that you can, you know, join. I have a book, Pollux, my book. Pollux symbolizes the higher soul. That is a workbook of Arithmosophy. You will find that in my website as well. I have a program, I have a book, I have one-on-one services, and I also have a holiday special offer. But this is, you know, you have to find what you want to know about yourself. But Arithmosophy is the spiritual science of self-knowledge, which is step one, to knowing, oneself. You know, it's very important to becoming aware, to evolving. It's very important to know who we are, really know, not our personality. Oh, some people say, I know what I want. I know who I am. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I don't, you will always know yourself better than I will, but I can give you some qualities, some numbers in certain positions that are going to make the puzzle come together, and you will be free from false goals, and you will be able to visualize your purpose in this life easier. It will be more, you know, easier to visualize and to intuit your life purpose. All right. So it was nice sharing this knowledge with you. And I hope you find the teachers, the mentors, the people who will inspire you, whom you will trust, and you will follow without fear, with certainty that they're good people. That's what's most important. Have a great day, a great evening. Bye.